This video shows how you can use Visicon to create 3D tendons in Revit. There are many benefits to displaying your post-tension design in 3D. Most importantly, 3D tendon layouts show design intent more effectively. You can also identify potential coordination and installation issues more easily and before they become costly rework on the project. And having access to your PT design in 3D lets you meet the new BIM mandates that are standard for many projects. Design software already render tendons in 3D, but the big question is, how do they make those models useful? To be useful, you have to be able to integrate them with other disciplines on the project. One option is to use BIM review platforms like Visicon to create federated coordination models or create the 3D tendons in Revit. In this video, we will focus on how to create 3D tendons in Revit. We'll show how Visicon transfers adapt tendon information to Revit. We start with any adapt builder design file, review the tendons in Visicon and make any necessary adjustments, and then import them into Revit using the Visicon plugin. Let's switch to a live example. We're going to start our workflow in an open adapt model where we've zoomed into a corner where we see some of the tendons that have been modeled. If we double click on any of these individual lines, we can see that any tendon can actually be modeled as multiple strands, and each one of them has its own distinct shape. Our objective is to bring this information into Revit. First thing we need to do is, under the Tendon tab, make sure that the tendon settings is set to export tendon segments in INP. This ensures that exact 3D geometry is written into the transfer file. Next, we go to File, Export. We're going to use the option INP All Levels Builder 2019 format and save the file. We'll then switch over to Visicon. We go to the folder where we created the tendon INP file. We're going to double click on it and open it in Visicon. Visicon is an intermediary step that allows us to review the tendons in 3D and make any adjustments that we want before we move it into Revit. So if we zoom into this corner and we select the slab, say select similar, category, make those transparent, that gives us some detailed view of the actual tendons. I can then take any of these tendons, for example, selecting this one, and if I scroll down, I can see that each individual tendon that was represented as one line in adapt is now splayed out as the actual individual number of strands. In this case, it would be one little bundle that has 4 tendons in it, and I can take it even further and make additional adjustments. For example, I can determine whether the anchor placement is horizontal or vertical. Once we're done with adjusting our tendons, we would then go and say File, Save As, and we're going to save it as a tendon project. We're now going to switch to Revit. We're now in the Revit model where we want to import the tendons, and we've zoomed into the corner that we were looking at before. When you install Visicon, you get a Visicon tab in your Revit installation. We're going to go to the Import option, and we're going to select the file we want to import. And we have the additional option to select which component types we want to import. In our case, we're not interested in bringing in the columns and slabs and loads and rebar from the adapt model. We only want to bring in the tendons, and we're going to say Save and Import. Once the import is completed, you'll see that it's updating the Revit model with the imported geometry. To verify that the tendons are actually in the Revit model, we'll select one of these slabs, and you can clearly see that the 3D tendon geometry has now been imported. My recommendation would be that you actually create the 3D tendons in a separate, dedicated file and link the tendon model to your primary structural model or architectural model. Each of these tendons is represented as a generic 3D mesh object in Revit and will show up in any sections or sheets that you need to display them in. Visicon helps structural engineers take their adapt builder designs and create realistic 3D tendon models that can be coordinated in Visicon or Revit. Download your trial at visicon.com or email us at info@visicon.com.